Yeah, you can do it either that way. As long as it's record right here, then it's good.
Huh?
You want me to have to get them?
Yeah, like you just go back and forth. Okay. Well, could you sit right
That
here?
is sitting in front.
I wanted to ask that too about. Okay, we was talking about the civics and law, and I wanted to know if you could explain the difference between an artificial person and a natural person, or appropriate persona.
Islam. Sheik or Justice.
You ain't on yet?
But yeah, like I was asking, could you explain the difference between a natural person and an artificial person?
Islam. I'm Sheik Lord Justice Bey. A natural person and an artificial person. A natural person is one who is a citizen with natural rights that was given to him by the Almighty Creator, Allah Himself. He's in his proper person. He honors his forefathers and he honors God by national name and descent. See, we Moorish Americans, so therefore let's make us natural in propria persona. In propria persona means in one's own proper person. Sui juris means flesh and blood. In one's own proper person, flesh and blood. Meaning we honoring our forefathers, we demonstrate in accordance with the constitutional fold of government. We are not receiving a privilege which is considered as the 14th and 15th Amendment, as a 14th and 15th Amendment citizen, one who was created by the government. Only Allah can make you. No one has the authority to change your national descent name or nature. No one can change you on what your forefathers were. And this is what an artificial person is. They are created by a corporation, better known as the U.S. Corporation, which gives you privileges. You see what I'm saying? And that's basically what an artificial person is. He's a straw man. He's a ward of the state, or what considered in new terms state property. You see what I'm saying? He only has granted privileges and not God-given rights, unalienable rights. You know. Islam.
Man, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
You told me, man.
A lot of times we as a people don't understand that we are artificial, especially the Negro, black, and color, because the very last name that they have belongs to their adversaries, those who inject them in bondage. So when a man marries a woman, the woman takes on the man's last name. So when you find a Negro, black, and color walking around with a European surname and also being called Negro, black, and color, it's It's a misrepresentation of your true birthright.
Precisely.
What we have to do is understand that nationality is the order of the day. What do I mean by the order of the day? Without a nationality, you have no rights. Everything you have was given to you as a granted privilege. Civil rights are granted privilege. Human rights are God-given. And when we learned that we had a pedigree, a birthright, and a decent nature line that coming from our own ancestors, and when we take that and we honor that, then we are in our proper person. Until then, we are civilly dead. We basically are culture thieves because we know nothing about ourselves. So we look to the world for character, immolation, etc. So I just wanted to add that to your questions.
Okay, building off of that, as far as being, okay, to my understanding, you were born from your mother, they have her sign that birth certificate, and from that point they create this legal fiction and associate that with you throughout throughout the course of your life, what happens with that birth certificate? Because I was just looking at mine today, and I was looking for the Department of Commerce on it. I haven't seen that, but I know that, well, I was told that it was some type of bond that's associated with that birth certificate, and it's people that's making money off of just that alone right now.
Well, it's clear that they're not going to have anything from the Commerce Department on there, but they also have digits on their number. And for your own inquisitiveness, you would want to know, what does these numbers mean?
Yes, sir.
So I think once you define the numbers, you'll see where the Commerce Department is at.
Okay. For people that's not familiar with Noble Drew Ali, can you explain who that is and the important role he plays in Moorish Americans?
Prophet Noble Drew Ali is the founder of the Moorish National and Divine Movement, as well as the Moorish Science Temple of America. He was born in 1886, Salem, North Carolina. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was a divine inspiration, celestial presence from Almighty God Allah, sent to the so-called Negro, black, and color. He came to teach us our nationality, our birthright, and our ancient divine creed. He came back to put us back into the constitutional fold of government. He came back to say and to instruct us to take our place in the affairs of men and nations. That we were the torch bearers of civilization, meaning that our ancestors were the first to carry light throughout the world. He came because we was in a subservient position. We knew nothing about ourselves. We strayed after gods and who we know nothing of. So Prophet Noble Drew Ali was God's blessing to a lost people here in North America. He was divinely prepared. So I can go on and on about the prophet and his mission, but we have to incarnate his mission within ourselves.
Okay.
Do we understand that?
Yeah, I understand.
That we have to be the message that he brought, because he said it was a sin for any group of people to follow someone else's descent nature line and not honor their own mothers and fathers. And that's why we suffer today, because we don't honor our mothers and fathers, that our days may be long upon the earth land which the Lord thy God Allah has given thee. We prefer to champion other nationalities. If you look in our communities and you look at the business, all of it is owned by foreigners. That is a clear sign that somewhere somebody is meeting saying that we are like a big breast. And when you get to America, you can suck us dry. Because we are consumers, not producers. So we have to learn the art of creating our own standards, our customs, and get away from the mere ideas of men. And Drew Ali brought all of that.
Our holy prophet Noble Drew Ali, he brought the everlasting gospel, the saving power, directly from Allah. He brought us a divine constitution of bylaws, additional laws, so that we can act as better citizens. But when you once join the Moorish Science Temple of America, you therefore have race pride, because you love yourself, you love your people. Your ability and your aims and your goals is to uplift your people, to bring them back to the mind state of their ancient forefathers. Because see, once they failed, they gave up their birthrights, and that's where another nation renamed our people. They renamed us as saying Negro, black, color. You know, our names changed with the seasons. But the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, being ordained by the great God Allah, so loved us that he enlightened us on who we were. That we were Negroes, or black, colored folks, or Ethiopians. Right. That we were Moorish Americans, meaning we were descendants of Moroccans and born in America. The ancient Moabites, ones who ruled Spain for over over 800 years, who established civilizations, who had street lights.
Yes, sir.
In Seville, Spain, 800 years before the Europeans even knew about it. You know what I mean? The same Moors who taught the Europeans how to walk. And they try to rename us. See, the significance of the name bears your inheritance. You see what I'm saying? What your forefathers brought, your foremothers. And once we start breaking up the covenant of God, this is the reason why the Holy Prophet Noble Ali said, this is why every nation has suffered slavery. Because they didn't honor the principles of their forefathers.
Sheik, let me say this to yourself, though, so we don't want to give anybody the impression that the European is the total root cause of our fall. It's the root cause of our fall. We do not want anyone to get that impression. It was us.
Precisely.
It was us who turned on each other.
That's right.
Islam. And when we turned on each other, what we did, we began to inherit vain ambition based on selfish self. We no longer synced ourselves as a God-fearing people. Now, what do I mean when I say God? Because a lot of times, you're right, because a lot of times when people say God, first thing they do, their head go in the sky. You know, and I'm sure you don't want to go there because you might get some birds dropping. You know what I'm saying? When we say God, we're talking about the superior presence of your infinite spirit. And I ain't want to spook you out. We're not talking about ghosts either when we say spirit. Because ghosts mean nothing. Yeah. So when people say they got the Holy Ghost, that means you got holy nothing. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about spirit, we're talking about conscious intelligence that continues to propel itself. Even as we talk right now, it functions with ideas different than our conversation. So we have to guard ourselves at all times against interference. So we begin to accept other gods. See, man's idea is his God. As he unfold, his God unfold. Man, God today is not God tomorrow. We all can bear witness to that. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand that his attributes work for us and through us. How can we say we represent the supreme being if we're not in the supreme standard? He made us propria persona secure. He made us titled to a vast estate. Behold, I have risen from the dead with gifts. I bring to you the title of your vast estate. What is the title of your vast estate? Upright, independent, and fearless, caring for your loved one. You can't care for nobody else until you first care for your loved one. Because remember, charity started at home before going abroad. So we don't want nobody to think that the European just came in and hit us in the head and we all broke and ran and, you know, and he tied us up and we became slaves. That's the greatest myth known to man. If that be the case, we punks in the start. We turned on each other as we're turning on each other today. If you look at society in North El Morocco, better known as America, if you look at society today, you would see that we're more supportive of the European ideas than our own.
I agree.
Take, for instance, Brother Jesse Jackson. He has been saying, I am somebody. He's been saying this, God knows, ever since he been active as a civil right. But he never tell you who. And for a grown person of his intelligence and his ability to lead people, to tell you that you somebody and can't explain your pedigree, your descent nature line, or where you come from, making you believe that your history started with the Civil War or slavery is both mean and unjust. So we are turning on ourselves by accepting artificial thought, straw man ideas. So I just wanted to put that out there so one won't think that this is a European bashing opportunity, because we can save ourselves.
I'm sorry, was you going to say something?
I said precisely.
Oh, well, you know what, like, I could camel back on that. Like I said, I've befriended many Europeans or people of non-Asiatic descent. And then also have been showing interest in some of their ideas, like what I was speaking with you on earlier about the saving the ecosystem, or just advancing technology where major corporations wouldn't profit or intervene with it. Still trying to think what my next question is.
Well, I want to say this. I think one of the real things we have to do, we have to get out of this white thing.
Precisely.
The Europeans are not white. We are. It is not a skin complexion. It's a status. White mean purity. Purity mean God, and God mean ruler of the land. They are the landlords today. That's why they use the term white, you know. But we are the original white people. Now, why do we say that? We talk about the degree of civilization, degree of leadership, degree of spirituality, the degree of staying perpendicular on your square. We gave to them the knowledge and wisdom and understanding. We cannot point the finger of derision at anyone until we first point it at ourselves. Because the Europeans have shown us that whatever we say concerning their pre-dated life, cavemen, that now they are considered as one of the most intellectual, intelligent people on the face of the earth. But only through mimicking somebody that's hidden. It's like a midget standing on a giant's shoulder. Okay. They created a system called Masonicism. We gave that to them because they became the custodian of our divine wisdom. Somebody had to keep it because we turned on each other. Mm-hmm. Now it's time for us to rise like a cedar on the mountain and get it back. You understand where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. So we can't get into this blame demonstration. Before you blame somebody else, blame yourself. Then if you got a smelly corpus or open enemy, then you deal with him. But first, charity started at home. That means the problem too, before going abroad.
I'm clear on that. I got another question because I know a part of becoming conscious, it requires a lot of unlearning. There's a lot of things that I just knew my whole life, and in an instant, within the past 2 years, I had to unlearn a lot of that, including like my perception of what color is, with a pedigree, nationality, and then also the terminology that we use. Just being a part of Moorish Science Temple of America, I picked up on different terminology, different vernacular that I was just never, I've always overlooked, and I was like, okay, what's the significance in that? Why is it more important to say a conveyance or a vessel than a motor vehicle, or why is it more important to address someone?
Because in terms of the law, communication changed.